Hey guys, welcome back to another reaction video. My name is Musa Jallo, and in today's video, we're gonna be reacting to another video by Taylor Bell, and the video is entitled Maria Thought on New York City. So with no further delay, let's get into the reaction.
All right, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident. Hello, this is Taylor. So I've lived in New York City for a year now, 14 months, but who's counting? And a lot has happened in the last year. I've learned more about myself than I could have ever imagined and what I aspire to be as a young professional. I've learned a lot about how I approach my friendships and how much I value challenging myself and a lot more. So here are my real thoughts on New York and how this city alone has largely given me what I would say is the most transformative year of my life. All right, this is Times Square. This didn't do it, but gotta film in Times Square at some point, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's why everyone in general should like try to like leave from where you were from originally, like or where you grew up or where you were born, Because like I feel like the more you move, like the more you learn new things, the more you adapt to new situation, the more you become better as a person.
So this isn't actually my first time living here in New York. I had 2 finance internships in New York these summers after my sophomore and junior years of college, which combined amounted to about 6 months of living here. Not a super long time, but long enough for me to get to know the neighborhoods decently well and to explore the city just one layer deeper than those typical hotspots that people will go to when they visit New York. But most importantly, it was long enough to know that there was something special about this place that made me want to move back for realsies after graduating from college. Of course, it didn't feel like home after 2 summers though. I just felt more acquainted with the city, which definitely helped ease my transition when I officially moved here. But even still, I really don't think there's any other city quite like New York, so it's hard to know what it's like to live here until you are in the thick of it. Yeah, I went to college on the East Coast and I also lived here in New York City for 6 months before, but I am still a Californian at heart. You see, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, not in the busy, glitzy parts that you see on TV, but up in the hills of Los Angeles. No, not those hills in Los Angeles, but the hills of the San Fernando Valley, which is quite literally where Valley girls are from, specifically the San Fernando Valley. Yeah, I'm one of those.
Wow, that's really good to know.
Hopefully I don't sound like one. Anyway, this is not a video about LA.
I almost tried like imitating the Valley Girls just now, but it's like it was really so good at home
But
myself.
the overall laid-back nature of California as a whole resonates with a huge part of my identity, and I will probably go back eventually. But this is all to say that New York is so different than how I grew up. It's way less chill, way less laid back, and you're always on the move. And if you're not on the move, you feel like you need to be on the move. At least I do. Chris! Guys, that's crazy. How's it going?
How you doing?
Wow, what are the odds?
Hey guys, I'm Aoife. 2 weeks in New York.
How do
Nice.
you like it?
Content creator also.
Yeah, oh my god, I was just saying to Chris there, I was like, I've never been so happy in my life. I was like, does this like tire out? But he was like, no, it doesn't.
Well, this is one of the great parts about New York is that you run into your friends, And because there's always something to do here, you can actually feel FOMO pretty easily. And that's coming from someone who doesn't really get FOMO. For those who don't know, FOMO is fear of missing out, like when you're at home relaxing and then you go on your friend's Instagram stories and it looks like they're having a grand old time and you also feel like you should be having a grand old time. Toxic. So the way I just
That doesn't really happen to me actually. I feel like nah. I don't think it happens to me that much.
describe New York. Not chill, not laid back, FOMO. Not to mention how dirty it is and the crime here. Sounds kind of shitty, am I right? Well, I love it. I absolutely love it. Almost said unconditionally, that's not true. But let's talk about why I love it. All right, so back to why I love this city. You guys know the drill. The management consultant in me has to break this thing down by categories, better known as buckets. Bucket number 1 is hitting the like button, please. Thank you. Okay, for real, bucket number
Hit the like button.
Number 1 is opportunity and personal growth. And I'm starting with this one because to me, it is the most important one on the list and the one that has impacted my life the most. To put it simply, this city is a highly concentrated hub of ambition and opportunity, as cheesy as that sounds. So concentrated that I actually think it can feel a little overwhelming at times, but I think it's the good kind of overwhelming that pushes me towards personal growth. So what do I even mean by that? And how have I actually seen personal growth materialize in myself? Well, to give you actual examples, just about everyone I know here works either incredibly hard or just has something really special going on. And I don't just mean my friends from college that went into finance, tech, and consulting jobs. I've been lucky enough to branch out and to get to know other content creators, business owners, podcasters, filmmakers, plus people with just about every imaginable title within the corporate world. An overarching
Actually, that's one of the reasons why I feel like I want to go there. Like Norway, we have this thing in Norway called Janteloven. you know, like Norwegian people, they are like really smart, they are really hardworking also. But I feel like competition is not really so encouraging, you know. So it make you to feel like it make you at the end of the end of the day not to work really so hard or reach your full potential in a way, you know. Actually, I feel like that's one of the reasons I really like New York City. Like you have like this concentration of really highly ambitious people. I feel like that is like really, really so important, you know, because like if you don't have that sometimes it become a bit difficult, you know. So I really like that about New York City, you know.
Theme that I have noticed about these people is that they are continuously trying to be better, to grow whatever it is they're building. Once again, whether that's their own business, their skill set at their corporate job, or their YouTube channel. And being surrounded by this growth mindset has just been very inspiring to me. Now, is this hardworking energy exclusive to New York City? Of course not. You're gonna find hardworking people everywhere. But I do believe there is something about this city, how fast-paced and cramped and uncomfortable it can feel that pushes you to grow. This is why the comment that I get on my videos every single day, the classic, you could have a mansion in Indiana for that price. Your rent is more than my monthly mortgage payment. Enjoy your crime-ridden, rat-infested city. I'll just be sitting here kicking my feet up in my 6,000 square foot mansion here in Texas. These comments just make me giggle, just a little bit. Listen, I hear ya. Like I said, that kind of laid-back California vibe resonates with a big part of me. I also love having a lot of space, and I love being in the outdoors, and I love being conventionally comfortable sometimes. But if you are comfortable all the time, you are not growing. So as nice as
Exactly my point, man. That's why I feel like I have to move to New York City, you know, because like now it's like the pinnacle of comfortable, you know, like Norwegians in Norway, things are so comfortable here, you know, like if you live in Norway, like for example, you can be making like maybe 600,000-700,000 kroner, which is like 70,000 to 80,000 US dollars, you know. That is like pretty good money here in Norway, you know, like you don't have to worry about anything. You can have like the nicest car, you can have a really nice house, you know. You don't have to worry about many things in life, you know. But for me, I feel like that is not enough, and it's not even so much about the money, you know. I want to be in a place where competition is like really encouraged, you know, but not frowned upon, you know, because like Norway, they have this system called like janteloven, like in a way, like it's like you shouldn't boast about yourself, you know. But I feel like in a way, also if you're like really good at something, you put work in to become better, you should be proud of say like, oh yes, I've done this thing, I'm like good at it, I'm better, you know. So that's one thing I don't really like about Norway, but like that's one thing I love about New York City, you know. It's not all about the skyscrapers and like the buildings and like how the place look like, you know. That also yes, but I feel like it is like the mentality of the people. That's what I really like about New York City, you know. Everybody was trying to get it. Everybody trying to be better. Everybody trying to grow. Everybody trying to take things to the next level. Everybody trying to be like the hardest worker in the city. That is what I really, really like, you know.
that mansion is, I do not want that. Not yet anyway. Not at this point in my life when I'm in my 20s and I'm hungry. I want to feel uncomfortable. I want to be in the thick of this dirty, expensive, cramped city because you are sure as hell not paying for the space. You're paying for the city and for the people in it. So a quick quotation that I seriously love before I provide two caveats to that whole preachy speech that I just gave. And I'm just reading it. The tragedy of life is often not in our failure, but rather in our complacency. Not in our doing too much, but rather in our doing too little. Not in our living above our ability, but rather in living below our capacities. I'm not sure how much reading that quote did to it feeling preachy, but it's a good quote, all right? Simply put, I think that it is much harder to be complacent in New York City than in other places. It has forced me to become more independent and to push the boundaries of what I thought I was capable of. Not the city itself per se. A city is really just an amalgamation of buildings, but because of the people in the city. The network effects of living here and the people that I've had the opportunity to meet has still not ceased to amaze me. And when I say network effects, I don't mean like networking in a traditional way. I just mean, you know, you meet someone and then when you meet that person, you meet these other people. It's like a hub and spoke situation, you know? I just mean I'm not going to networking events every day. Through these organic conversations that I've had and the friends that I've made, this has happened naturally, you know? Anyway, the conversations that I've been having here lately have just been some of the most thought-provoking and eye-opening ones that I've ever had. You just gotta put yourself out there a little bit. Okay, so to give you some tangible examples, because it's easy to sit here and say, oh, I love this growth mindset and I love to work hard, but what does that even mean? What does that look like? Two examples specifically for me. One is that in this city, I have now met a ton of other content creators and filmmakers who share my same passion for this, which is huge because this is kind of a weird thing to sit in your room by yourself and write scripts and then film yourself and edit yourself and then put it out on the internet with enough confidence to think that what you single-handedly created is worth other people's time, okay? It's an unusual job, and I basically didn't know anyone else who did it for a long time.
That is like so crazy, but that is true, you know, like it's like it's really so weird, you know, but I feel like also it's like if I was in like a place where a lot of people is doing it, like you said, like in New York City, you wouldn't have care, But like yeah, it's like that is not the mentality, People doesn't think that way, So it's like it's so pretty weird, actually. But that's crazy, and that is so true, actually.
Time. So I questioned myself a lot. I still do, but in a different way. Now I have people I can talk about it with. As soon as I started meeting other creators, especially ones here in New York that also kind of have that go-getter attitude, it made a world of difference. To be able to discuss this kind of work and to bounce ideas off each other and just talk through those uncertainties that a lot of creators have, it really just kept me going. So thank you, New York, for bringing like-minded people together. And perhaps a more relatable, tangible example for me outside of the creator sphere relates to my other career. I really do live a double life. So I started another job about a month ago, and I'll talk details on that very soon in another video, just keep an eye out. But something I've been noticing about my colleagues at that job is that the conversations we've been having largely center around ideas. And this really reminds me of another quotation. It's a good one though. Hold on tight. It's by Eleanor Roosevelt, and my AP US government teacher had it pasted up on the wall, 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, just like grossly taped up, but I'll never forget it. It said that small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. Now don't get me wrong, shooting
That is like so true, Great man discuss ideas, That is like so true, like oh my god. Damn, I feel like I need to move ASAP,
the shit and spilling the tea is fun and important, I think. You gotta have some mindless banter. I have plenty of it, but I do appreciate these new people that I've met at this job and just the conversations that we've been having about life. So thank you to New York City for introducing me to them. All right, 2 caveats, because would this be a Taylor Bell video if I didn't at least attempt to give you a mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive argument? Sometimes I wonder. Caveat number 1, do you have to be in New York City to grow? No, obviously not, that's stupid. Despite this video sounding like a straight up advertisement for New York, and it kind of is, but it is not for everyone. Just because I would choose my shoebox, as people like to call it on the internet, over a mansion any day during this stage of my life, that does not mean that you can't grow in that mansion or anywhere else that's not New York. It depends what your goals are, and I do sincerely believe that the growth zone, if you will, can be found anywhere if you look for it and if you surround yourself with the right people. And I'm not saying this caveat to cover my ass and not offend anyone. I'm saying it as a challenge to you guys to find your growth zone no matter where you are. Caveat number 2, I've talked a lot about growth and this desire to constantly be pushing myself, so you might wonder, Taylor, is that ever too much? 100%. I think that the hustle culture mindset can actually be counterproductive if you don't take breaks. Balance is crucial. So despite my speech that just started to sound like Shia LaBeouf's pep talk there for a minute,
just do it!
You will 100%.
Honestly speaking, I feel like that's one thing. Like Norway, they are pretty good at it, But for me, I feel like they are like way on the other spectrum of the balance, Like we have like 5 weeks holiday that is paid, If you have kids in now, I know they are all good things. I'm not complaining that it's bad, But like I'm saying, like there is already a lot of balance in Norway, Like you have like 5 weeks pay holiday. When you have a kid, like the parents, I think they have like combined like almost 1 year of paid vacation, If you get sick, you have like sick leave, You have paid sick leave. So like there's already a lot of balance here, But I feel like it's not for everyone, Like she said, some people want to live in the mansion, and like be relaxed and be comfortable, But you can also grow in that area. Yes, it is all dependent on what your goal is in life. So that is true. Also, you can do that. But also, like you said, like she's like comfortable living in the shoebox, and that's what you want to be from. That's what you want to grow from. So I feel like she's kind of a right in a way. But I feel like if you surround yourself with more like energetic people, with like more positive people, with more people who discuss ideas, not people, and then that is like gonna help you to even become like a better person, So in a way, I feel like I get a counter argument, but I still feel like I would rather be in place like New York City before I be in place like Texas, that I'm relaxed on the beach and like having this really nice apartment. Like you should try to live outside your comfort zone,
Catch me going home to California to vegetate on the couch with my family and my dogs pretty often. It is so important to have that comfort zone where you can just totally relax. So I also encourage you to find that balance if you don't already have it. All right, now that we've finally got through that one, let's talk about some other buckets. I don't just love the city because it's forced me to grow. It also has a real personality of its own with endless cultural, entertainment, and culinary options. I feel like we all already know this, like this part's not really up for debate, so I'm not gonna spend too long on it, but New York City is the theater capital of North America. Most notably known, of course, for its Broadway shows, if you're into that. I am personally not, but I feel like every single other person I know is. One of my personal favorite things to do in the city is to go to the Comedy Cellar. I've been a number of times and it has never let me down. In fact, last time I was there, Louis C.K. actually came out, and whether you like him or not, it was really cool to see a famous comedian come out and test their new jokes, and you're basically getting a front row seat to their show for a very affordable price. And it's actually not that uncommon that famous comedians will come out, especially if you go during a weekday. Anyway, there's something here for everyone when it comes to entertainment, and the same goes for food, to say the least. I'm not a foodie, like at all, and even I'm amazed at the diversity of cuisine that you can find in this city. Whatever you could possibly want, you can pretty much find within a 1 mile radius, which is, it's actually kind of insane. And
That is crazy, actually, like all them good African food, That is actually crazy, Like that's one thing like we struggle with, like being in Norway as an African also, it's like difficult to find food. You can get them, but they are like super overpriced and they are not so fresh, because a lot of people is not here, so it's understandable.
of course, that is largely thanks to the diversity of cultures here in the city. Once again, another superlative for New York. It has been called the cultural capital of the world as well, with over 800 languages being spoken here, making it the most linguistically diverse city in
800 languages spoken in New York City. That's
the entire
that's crazy,
world. And to me, this cultural diversity is a huge part of what makes it so special, which I honestly didn't really expect, but just getting to meet so many people from different walks of life from my own, yet we all have this one underlying thing in common, which is this drive or this love for the city. I don't really know what it is, but it's a very special thing for sure. All right, now to touch on something that people ask me all the time to talk about. Crime. It's true. Crime rates in New York City have shot up since COVID. And I actually would agree that there are differences between now and what I saw those summers when I interned here in college. And while that's mad unfortunate, all I can really do is carry my pepper spray and hope for the best. JK, but actually, yeah, I do carry my pepper spray, and then I just use common sense, guys. I do not put myself in situations that could lend themselves to being sketchy. I don't take the subway by myself late at night. I don't walk down dark alleys. Well, New York actually doesn't have alleys, but I don't walk down dark, empty streets. I keep an eye on my surroundings no matter what. I stay with groups of friends if I'm out and about at night. And if I do need to go somewhere by myself, like going home after a night out, then I just call an Uber instead of walking. I'm not saying freak accidents don't happen.
Norway is like one of the safest country in the whole world. Like Norway is like so freaking safe. You can like literally leave your door open and go outside. Like nobody gonna come in your place. But of course, like in Norway, there are some places you don't go at night. There are some places you don't go by yourself. Doesn't mean like no, it's not safe in general. I don't think so. So like even though there is crime happening in New York City, but I don't mean like you should like consider the whole place to be unsafe because of that. Because like I can assure you those things are happening everywhere, so it's crazy actually.
Of course they do. You gotta be careful. So to answer your question, no, I do not feel unsafe in my day-to-day here. If you can't tell by now, I love this city, I have to admit. So much more than I expected, given how much I love the outdoors and nature and the sunshine. For this time while I'm in my 20s and I only have myself to take care of, I think that this is an incredibly inspiring work hard, play hard environment. So thank you, New York City, for an amazing full year, 14 months. For the lovely people you've introduced me to and for the opportunities you've given me, here is to year number 2, Turtle out. And if you want to hit the thumbs up and subscribe, I mean, I'm not going to stop you.
I feel like I agree with most of what you're saying. It is an amazing city, like the diversity of culture, over 800 languages being spoken in New York City. That is so crazy for me to comprehend, Like that is like really so amazing, And like the drive of the people, everybody want to be successful. Everybody want to like do things. Everybody want to like grow whatever they are doing. Everybody want to be like the best at their work, I love this kind of environment, So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, remember to like it, comment down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.